Welcome to the Sounds Like This podcast. Today I'm joined by Fit Body and Fit Mind owners and trainers and generally legend people, Tanya and Dean Pubblestone. Hooray!
Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming to chat with me today. I'm thrilled to have you here. So Tanya and Dean are my trainers at my gym, and I love it. And that's not something I thought that I would ever say about a gym. I've been a member of different gyms in the past and honestly hated it, hated every little part of it, hated going, hated the people, hated the music, hated the whole vibe. So for me to be pumped to go to the gym and then more pumped after I leave the gym is something to behold, let me tell you. So it's not my natural place at all. So thank you for creating such an incredible space. I'd love to hear a bit more about how you got into working in your beautiful space.
All right.
What did that look like for you?
So that goes, that's going back over, the journey particular has been coming up to it's 9-10 years because it started with us and our own health journeys. And so I was a dental assistant come mum and had been that since I was a 17-year-old sort of thing until then we got married, etc. As I had kids, I found I was becoming pretty sad and just tired of having no energy, having those funks of like, what am I doing? Who am I as a woman? All the general feels that are so common when you chat to a lady, but it doesn't feel common to her. It's very real and very isolating.
Yeah.
So that coupled with some grief with my family, my dad's health issues, I started to look for getting healthy. And from then we found Fit Body, Fit Mind and met the owners from there and just fell in love with exercise. And then sort of fast forward 5 years down the track, I became a trainer myself, started working there. And then when it was time for the other the owners to move on, we were like, we can't let this go.
Yeah.
Too many lives have changed. Our lives were changed.
Yeah.
And so we were then not forced with the decision. We were like, how do we keep this moving? And Dean put his hand up and he moved from being a logistics manager to a personal trainer so that we could keep Fit Body, Fit Mind and the authentic heart of it, of helping people become fit and healthy for life, going.
Yeah.
So that's sort of a really shortened version of it.
It's a really shortened version of it. So can you paint a picture for me of what your like physical and like mental health looked like before you got into doing this, before you found Fit Body, Fit Mind? Like what was just a regular day for you?
Oh, regular day was all about kids. It was kids at home. It was mind numbing daily TV.
Yeah.
It was, I would sit down and I would have the TV on. I'm like, is really Dr. Phil all that my life is, aside from if I'm not serving my kids and my family? The only other thing in my life is either window shopping or Dr. Phil.
So you kind of lost like who you were in the mothering.
Yes.
And I think that's it's really sad, but it's a really common story as well.
So
you know,
common.
we go from however we see ourselves and then we become parents and we need to do all of the things for them, but you can lose yourself in that. And so being able to actually prioritize yourself and your well-being and
And I think there was also, I've certainly found that my routines to try and break out of the monotony of home and those routines would end up being down shopping centres.
Yep.
So I'd just go and wander around shopping centres, eating in food courts or coffee catch-ups and they were just, nothing was really filling my tank.
Yeah.
It's just the fatigue and it just was empty to me. It was really empty to me. So when I started to exercise, and it was such a short amount of time in my day, it just energized me for the rest of the day.
So when you first started, how, it's a short time in your day. I know I go along and I'm only there for half an hour,
Yeah.
35 minutes if we get gabbing, but then it's like, we've got to get out the door. But
Yeah.
it's a tiny little window. Did it start like that for you? Just this tiny little window?
Yep, 30 minutes.
And it's enough to get you going, enough
Yeah.
to change
Yeah.
your whole life, your whole day, the whole everything.
Yeah.
I love
I
it.
can't think of a time. Like we occasionally did gyms. I think we did input or a few other things. And similar story, never went. Went
Yeah.
occasionally. I still remember standing in a treadmill room
Yeah.
and feeling painfully awkward that I would do it wrong, and
Yes.
just felt like so many eyes on me. Even though now from me on this side, I would hope that the trainers felt like we felt, that we would have gone, come on, you can do that. But there wasn't them anywhere around, and scared to even write my name on the board to take place on a treadmill, those sorts of experiences, and just wouldn't do any weights.
I had really similar experiences. So
Yeah.
I'd go in, be like, this is my time, and be very self-conscious, be
Yeah.
really unsupported,
Yeah.
and then just feel like, oh, I guess that's enough, and
Yeah.
then we're done. And I know that when I first started at Fit Body, Fit Mind, that was a huge shift, because I came in and it was like, I'm greeted by the people I know, and
Yeah.
everybody there is very much like there for good vibes, there to look after each other, cheering each other on. A little while ago there was a gentleman there with the same name as my son, and so I was like yelling, "Woo, go, good thing!" like across the gym to my boy, and he thought I was cheering him on. It was great, and I will cheer him on as well, but
And you shared a laugh.
yeah, and we shared a laugh and we had a little moment. I'm like, oh, you have the same name, that's nice. But those moments where you've got connection and you feel like you're part of something, and you don't have to be pretty to do it. You don't have to be glammed up. Just come as you are, do your best, smash it for half an hour, give yourself a pat on the back, and go and have a good day.
There's something different about when an environment can just organically share connections. And if the connection is purely just respect of, I know what it's taken you A to B here, I know that if I've just done that, I know if they're going to even slightly put themselves in that position to do that, then respect to them that
Absolutely.
they're about to make themselves uncomfortable. And it's hard, it's so hard to actually. That's just organic. You can't force it.
It's a culture though. I know whenever I come into the space, it always feels like that. So whatever you're putting down, we're picking up for sure. Like it's good. Good vibes all around. It's a really good culture of, this feels like a place where you belong. It's beautiful.
That's wonderful.
And
That's great.
We do want people to feel to be free to be them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want them to come in and be relaxed. And I think a big part of that is there's no session that goes past where there's not a laugh or a smile. So it's important to us that we want people to be exactly who they are. Mm-hmm. So if they're
on the
high
flip
energy, that's what we want.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, that's where in connected enough that we can read and feel the energy when it's off, because life is life. And if you know that someone is not quite themselves, where it's just the vibe is there, and where we know them enough to know how to gently sort of be alongside them, whether that's the time to rile them up or they're not someone who should be riled up.
Yeah.
There's just enough space and enough relationship to be able to do that with them, and that's important to us. We would never want to be so big or so disconnected that we can't know how to rile someone up or know how to just gently rub shoulders with them, just so they know, you know what, maybe this session won't fix your world's problems, but I'm really proud of you and I'm really glad you're here, because this is enough for today, and this will make a difference in your day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think meeting people where they're at is really important, because it might be today is a 20% day, but they're there and they're going to give you all of that 20%, and maybe the next day is a completely different thing, and they're 100% there. And being valued and feeling valued in that, I think is really important.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, I love it. Gorgeous. And what about you? How did you get into this? Because I know you were doing logistics and things, but also mechanics.
I was. So a qualified mechanic by trade, and then went into really just sort of fell into supervising factory floors, moved on from that into driving garbage trucks. So really all those trades that sort of encourage an unhealthy lifestyle.
Right.
So smokos, pies,
Yeah.
soft drinks, and not a lot of activity. So a lot of standing around.
Right.
And I guess the way it worked was it was easy. It felt good until I got bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I'm only a little unit. I only stand at 5'7", and I think I topped the scales at one time at 107 kgs.
Yeah.
And that's, I looked and I thought, man.
Bigger than your frame can take.
Well, yeah, it's the biggest I've ever been, and I thought, man, this is no good. And we'll grow bigger together. It's sort of like boiling the frog. It sort of catches up, and then one day you see it and you just go, that is a big frog. So there's a lot of boiling. It's sort of, and when Tan sort of, went into this, it was an easy follow, but she took the lead.
Yeah.
And it was a real wake-up call for me to be out there. But same thing, when we first started, it was relaxed, it was fun, there was heaps of laughs. Didn't take it all too serious, but got pretty puffed. And we tried various things over the way, different diets, as all the popular stuff was there.
Yeah.
Different gyms, went for a short time and then gave up. But something about this one stuck, and then my hours changed, and then we became members, and just really loved it. And for me, it's something that a realisation that came later on in life, but it's always been there, is I just love people.
Yeah.
On all my jobs, I've ended up in management or supervising, and I just really love people, and I love seeing them achieve their goals. I love seeing them live the best that they can.
Yeah.
And would get frustrated when they wouldn't. And then realise with me having all these pep talks with all my guys along the way, I'm going, that's actually me.
Yeah.
So with my guys saying, I just can't do it, I've got no choice, I'm going, no way, you have. And then realise I've actually got it. And that actually took my daughter to point that out when I think she was about 8.
Yes.
And we were having a conversation. I said, what are your dreams? And she answered, and I said, cool. And she goes, what are yours, Dad? And I told her, and she goes, why don't you do them? I said, I can't. She said, why not? And then the penny dropped going,
I love
I've
that.
never really thought about that from the Mouse of Babes, really.
Yeah.
So that was along the journey, and my love for people sort of grew into, did a bit of life coaching, training for that as well. And then when the opportunity came up for us to take over, it just seemed like a really good fit.
Yeah.
And it was this huge shift. So 30 years of work boots into trainers.
Yeah.
It was a massive shift and a real steep and fast learning curve for me.
Steep and fast.
So it's game on. We better get to know what we're doing. But loved it. And the community was super accepting. And it's just, even on the opposite side of the fence now, real welcoming. So it made it an easy transition. And it's a good fit. So still love people and love what we do.
I think you've just touched on one of the reasons that Fit Body, Fit Mind is such a special place as well. I know that I don't love early o'clock, and I do my PT with my son on board, and I love that. I love that I can bring him in because, we can show our children we can do hard things, and we can do things that are, I'm so awkward, I'm so unco, and I don't make it look easy at all because it's not. And it's your job to challenge me. So even when I get slightly better at it, like, you make it that little bit harder, which is awesome. But we're modeling that, aren't we? Like, everything we do, we're modeling, and our children see it. They hear the little comments about our bodies or about our voices or about the way we think about our goals and what we can and can't do in the world, and that things get too hard. And they take that on, and I love that she called you on that. That's cool. That's really cool. And it shows like a great, way of being with your children as well, that they can call you on that they are so open, you're so open with them, that they're like, why not, Dad? I love it. Beautiful. So in terms of fit body, fit mind, the fit mind part is gorgeous. So I touched on not loving getting up in the morning. I bring my alarm clock with me because he's the ultimate don't hit the snooze button. He's like, come on, let's do it. And he'll say to me, yes, it's hard, but how good do we feel afterwards? Like we get the high afterwards, and he loves it to be bouncing around all morning telling everyone, you know, I went to the gym and I did boxing and whatever it was. But the mind part of it, where we feel like we are looking after our emotional and mental well-being, how important to you is that as part of your gym?
Massive. And just while you were sharing on that, it brought back to me that one of the first real heart connections with me to being able to want to be on the support side for mums is there's something about when we present to our children, like seeing them letting us, you know, they see us do hard and they should do that 100%. But there is, from a mum's point of view, that I want women to feel massively so comfortable about themselves that when they wake up, when they get up, when they get dressed, that they don't stand there and assess and they have nothing but hate.
Yeah.
Because then they walk out and they see their children, and they won't want to project that, but they will project what they've just said to themselves. In their quiet space. They'll project the hate on themselves. And that will just slowly project onto the kids. So for me, being like helping women feel strong, feel empowered, feel healthy, feel energized, I believe helps them to be able to not have as many of those experiences where they can just get up, throw clothes on and just go and be. Whereas if they don't feel like that about themselves, they get up, they throw clothes on and they throw on a mask and they don't carry it very well as much as they would want to.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the fatigue for mums comes into, because they're not aware of how much they're just hiding and they're trying to swallow what they really feel about themselves.
Yeah.
So exercise does fix that mindset, and it does, but it takes time. It takes consistency, and it doesn't take 1 or 2 sessions.
Yeah, it's not a quick fix. It's not a pill to pop with the like. You actually have to do it.
You've got to do it, and you've got to do it so often that it's such a natural feeling that it literally is. You don't have to stop and say, all right, I shouldn't say that to myself.
Yeah.
In case I project that. It's just all of a sudden I no longer say that to myself.
Yeah. You stop believing everything you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was that was a real core thing that sort of, when I started to feel that myself, and that's when I was just like, why doesn't everyone feel like this?
Yeah.
I need to be in a position where I can help people start that journey and to start feeling like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's so much freedom in having a mind that just doesn't constantly pick on itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that's a really big part of why I do what I do as well. So in my studio space where we've got parent-child classes, you know, all bodies are good bodies. Yeah. We can all move. We can all have a try. Like we don't always smash it, but we can have a try at doing the things. But the number one thing that I hear from most parents is, I can't sing. You say, oh, this is what I do. You know, you'd be chatting to anyone anywhere, and this is what I do. And they're like, oh, I can't sing. I'm like, okay, that's a story that they've told themselves. And where did it come from? You know, were they told when they were little that this is not something that they can do? Is it that they grew up and started comparing themselves to somebody else's Ariana Grande voice, you know, and it's they've taken that on, and like exercise, the less you do it, the less good at it you are, you know, and so your voice is part of you, it's part of your body, and we need to treasure it and use it and put it out there and show our children, yes, we can use it, yes, we can be that, we don't have to be the most elite athlete or, you know, global superstar, but you can still have this thing that's part of you that we love because it's you. Yeah. And you can do it.
So look, we've got members that will, you know, that have been coming for so long, and they're like, oh, I can't box jump. We're like, so what? Can you step up? Like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be so progressive that's the thing, because the person next to you does that. Like the goal is the movement. The goal is the body doesn't know if that's not what you're doing. It's like the comparison is the challenge.
Comparison is killer with everything. Like you stop trying when you
Yep.
think you have to be
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
It's like, well, actually,
Yeah.
you know, it takes time to get there.
Yep.
And they've done more work to get there.
Yep.
Some people are more naturally inclined in whatever it
Totally.
happens to be,
Yeah.
and that's great. That's fine or whatever. But
Yeah.
to be an athlete, you've got to work.
Yep. And one day, yes. Yeah, totally
sure.
one day.
But if you give up, absolutely not.
Not.
Not ever. Like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
funny you say that. So I saw a quote just the other day that said, people are always envious of what you had or what you got, but not envious of the work that got you there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's exactly that. And, you know, with the comparison side of it, how much it steals from us. And we're not all meant to be in the same place.
No.
So it's important. We want people to just know their journey is different
Yeah.
to everybody else's.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like you can be your own cheerleader even if you're not a gold medalist. You know, I can't do a box jump either. Leo can smash it though, my son. Like
Yeah.
he's really good at it.
Yeah.
I'm not really good at it. But you get the step out
Not
for me
yet.
and I give it a go. And it's fine because I'm getting there, you know. Jumping at all used to be a drama for me. And
Yes.
I know in working with you, I'm moving safer. I'm stronger. When I fall down because I'm unco, I bounce. What do you say? I bounce, don't
You bounce
break.
instead of break.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
I
what we're
bounce
after.
instead of break. And from someone that's had, you know, physical things where I do break and I've had bone density issues, I know that the weight training has made a big difference. I know that my medical stuff is better than it used to be. And the reports I'm getting back from my specialist is you're stronger, you're fitter, you're capable of doing things, your resting heart rate is down, you know. I'm metabolizing better, I'm sleeping better, you know, all of the things.
Yeah.
So much better, feeling stronger.
Yeah. That is pure transformation.
Yeah.
That's transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can run laser tag
Yeah.
with my kids.
Yes.
Like, I can run them down, you know. That's my goal. Get them.
Yeah.
And they're the goals that we want people to have instead of the Instagram post.
Yeah.
We want them to be able to live really well.
Yeah.
And when we become fitter and stronger, opportunities open up. And just the things that we can do are more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it changes the types of interactions you can have as well. Like I know as a family, we were out in the city a little while ago now, but my younger guy, we've been traipsing around the city all day, and he was zonked. He was tired. And I picked him up and popped him on my shoulders, and I walked South Bank with him on my shoulders. There's no way
No.
I could have done that,
Yep.
you know. And when I pick him up from school, he's like, "Can I have a ride?" I'm like, "Yep."
Yeah.
Just throw him on, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine, totally fine. It's amazing to me, like that I'm fine, and it means that we've got this connection, and I can play like more rough play with him, and just things like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's changed the way we interact. It's cool.
That's sensational.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's like, Mum. Like he would be.
yeah. He's such a
Like
cheerleader.
my mum. Like that's my mum. Like my mum can be that.
Yeah.
She can be anything.
Yeah.
And like we talking about kids, you know, pumping us up. I had a experience at a triathlon where because I'm not a good swimmer and I'm really quite afraid of it, and the conditions were dreadful, waves quite high, and they were giving us the options to bail out, and my pride was not okay with that. I was like, I can't bail out.
Like
I can't
I don't
bail
love
out,
swimming, but I cannot
but I
stop.
can't swim in that. Like that's hectic. And so I was in tears standing there, and our Lily was 10 or something at the time, and all she just said to me was, "Mum, how are you going to know if you don't do that?" And I thought, if I don't move and try and do this now, that's going to change the way that she then takes on big challenges one day as well. It wasn't about being a failure in front of her, anything like that, or showing. She already saw me vulnerable, but she saw me going from vulnerability to strength.
Yeah.
And I just thought, this is a moment I can't let go for
Yeah.
her. And I did it. I swam, then I felt sensational after the fact that I faced that challenge.
You'll always have that as well. You know you
Always,
did that.
but I don't think I'm going to know the fruits of that until she's a grown woman. I think the small seed of that is something I may not ever see.
So in my space, we talk about sowing seeds, not just for our children now, but we, you know, at least a 30-year plan and hopefully intergenerational. And it's exactly that, you know.
Exactly that.
Her talk of my mum can do hard things. Yeah. She tried. And you know, it doesn't even matter. You can try the thing and suck at the thing.
Yeah.
But you gave it a go.
Yeah.
And putting yourself in a position where you give it a go.
Yep. Yep, pretty sure I might have been third out of the water, third last, you know,
Sure.
but gave it the massive go. And then she heard me talk about how good I felt. And she heard me then praise her to say if you hadn't encouraged me then I don't think I would have done it.
Yeah, and that's powerful for them as well to know that their voice matters.
Yes.
That things you say hit home.
Yeah, because she said it quite a lot, didn't she?
Yeah.
For whenever we were talking about the experience for probably a good week or so afterwards, she said it a lot that what she said to me mattered. So yeah, definitely a seed that you can't, as parents, you can't orchestrate that stuff without, you know, again, another organic experience of when you're doing rough and you're doing it a little bit, they should see you messy. They should see your hair messy, sweaty. They should see you're you know, struggling. You can't discount how much that's actually affecting your kids for a positive.
And the other side of that too is she's now learnt if there's an opportunity to encourage, step up. Don't be scared to do it.
She's a cheerer.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty important that she's learnt that lesson, so she knows now that, you know, for her friends, if her friends need that encouragement, that, you know what, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And my voice can make a difference in those moments.
Yeah. And the fact that we have bodies that are ready and willing to go into those challenges gives us more opportunity to have those opportunities.
Yeah.
So because what we like to imagine is that we'll call it race fit in a sense, so that you're fit enough and strong enough to say, sure, I can do that. Like it's not going to be easy. But instead of me going, no, I couldn't do that because I don't trust my body, it's like, I'm sure I'll be able to survive that. Let's just grind and let's go. That's the kind of strength and fitness that I want my body to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Because you never know what other experience can come from it.
Yeah. Can you tell me maybe about one of your clients that's got a bit of a transformational story, somebody that, you know, that you think of?
Yes. So most certainly the freshest one from mind is our member Ying. She came to us with her doctor, went to a doctor, and the doctor had shared with her that she has high blood pressure, and she said, if you don't make some lifestyle changes, this is not going to be a good outcome for you. And she was medicated for her blood pressure, and she wasn't okay with that. She was like, this is bad. Like, I really don't want to be, but I need to follow the doctor's advice, which is just sensational because so many don't follow that advice.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure the GPs are dishing it out, how much is taken on board. You know, it seems to be there's too many people out there with with medical conditions like that lifestyle can make an impact.
Huge.
So Ying took that advice, and she was so open and so wonderful. But it was within a month or 6 weeks, her blood pressure medication was dropped, and then she was completely off it.
That's amazing.
So she's since lost, last time she said 11 kilos, but she's not interested in the weight.
The weight loss is kind of a symptom of all the other things that are happening, isn't it? You know, we culturally we make it such a big deal what size something is or what weight it is or whatever. It's not about that.
If that is wholeheartedly the goal, and that's the belief that that's the only goal, then it's not sustainable. I've been been in this industry now. I'm probably still a newbie in some ways, although personal trainers don't have a long life. But I really feel like I'm seeing enough of the habits of that when it's purely weight loss, it's not sustainable. And they don't, those sorts of goals just don't motivate people. It's not until you understand the underneath of the why do I really need to lose weight. For Ying, she knew she needed to lose weight because of her body was telling her that the weight was a challenge for her health. And she was fortunate enough to have actually known that and acted on it. She's now running, she did 10Ks the other day.
Whoa. Good on her.
And she came did a park run with us at one of our Saturday classes, and we don't see her at the Saturday class anymore because she's so hooked on that. She's just loving it, and it's her own community now in that on a Saturday, which is ace. But she's inviting friends. She's got another friend which she's encouraging. She's just booked another friend in. I didn't tell you that actually this morning. She made the appointment for him.
Yeah. We're doing it.
Yeah, and her health has turned around. It's absolutely turned around, and weight loss was literally a symptom of it.
Yeah.
And she's almost unrecognisable. And it's purely because she was consistent, and she said her mental health, like if she misses a day or two, she's back because her mental health, not because she's afraid of putting weight on.
Yes. So she knows she feels better.
She feels better.
She does it.
Yeah.
And she's encouraging anyway, but without her saying it, it's infectious. So you hear the other members going, man, Ying this and Ying that. She brings life.
Yeah.
And not only encouraging other members to come along, now she actually runs with her dad. I'm not sure how old her dad is, but...
Late 70s.
Late 70s.
Yeah.
And he loves it. So that's their time together too. So quite often they'll do park run together as well.
And her mum.
That's beautiful.
Did
they run beforehand? That's new.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. Because they've been impacted by her energy.
That's
and
brilliant.
her zest for life and just her her results.
Yeah.
Really.
Real nice moment when he first started. I think we were doing Oliver's Hill actually.
Oh, wow.
And he turned up and I remember Ying saying to him, Dad, you need to slow down. He's going, no, you need to keep up.
I love that. I love it.
So wonderful. She's that is encouraging to us because that's when we hear that, like, you cannot, that's to us, that's goosebump stuff.
They're the goals that we love.
Like we certainly want people to feel better in their bodies and their skins, and because we wholeheartedly understand that that's a huge important part of confidence and self-belief. But we know that once you start to chip deeper than that, that's when you're going to get what you want.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
So what kind of programs do you have so if we go back just for a sec to like mum, for example, someone who has kids of whatever age they happen to be, you want them to feel supported and be part of a community. What kind of programs do you have for a lady like that?
That is catered for largely in our Reshape class. So the way that we structured, we're personal training based. So strength is catered for in a smaller environment, so that we're in relationship with you, we're in connection, and we can help you focus on safety, focus on lifting really well, educate you around what's right, get to know you, and help keep you on focus, on track there with our personal training. And then the classes complement that.
Yeah.
So the classes help build cardiovascular fitness, and that because our heart is a muscle itself, and we can't ignore that. You know, we get strong bones through strength training. We get all the benefits of strength training, but we get other benefits from cardiovascular fitness as well. So our classes do that, and that's where you get community as well. But, you know, and most of, because we look after kids in what we call our Reshape class, it's a similar boot camp style class, but we look after kids. So that's where you naturally, gravitate. More mums there.
Beautiful.
And there's lots of friendships that are formed amongst there. And that's nice for us because, we can, we walk up, because we're older parents now in a sense. Lily's still young, but we're certainly in the older parents bracket. And I actually find myself walking past the groups when they're like a mother's group where they sit and chat after the class. And I feel almost a sense of just pride that I'm happy for them, that they're talking their talk about the kids, and that they've found another little tribe. It's not their tribe. They'll have them in different pockets of their world, and that's great. You should have multiples. But I know that these core group of girls, when they're sitting with them, they're just going that they know that the next person next to them gets why they're there and what's important to them.
They keep each other accountable too.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
They keep each other accountable for coming along where they're at, and their kids are forming relationships with each other
as
well.
Yeah.
So all friendships are developing
Yeah, so that so that mostly happens in that mid-morning because that's where that sort of community are available. But then we've got them. Kids are welcome at any time. So when they're coming at 6:30 in the evening or even in the morning, there's just a natural support of anyone that when there's kids around.
Oh, I've found that actually even with my boy. I'll be off doing something over here and he's up there, and then other people have helped him, or he needs his glove put back on, or his foot slipped off of a slider, or whatever it is, and there's just another member that's like, oh, no worries, mate, I'll just
it's not a
it's really
thing,
beautiful.
it's not a task, isn't it? It just naturally happens.
It's really, really nice. It's a good space to be in where I feel like my child is safe and respected, and
it's a community where our members just want people to win. So they'll do whatever they can to help that happen.
Yeah, and how they just appreciate that access is not easy for everyone. So when they're there, they know they've actually really made it happen. So that's, again, that level of respect going, good work. Well done.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So I guess the daughter question, where to from now then? What are your goals going forward? You've got this amazing business, this incredible tribe.
I've got a new zest for women later in life, so perimenopausal. So
fantastic.
I'm really sort of growing my understanding in that through my own experience, but also through just trying to understand so I can support women in that. So growing that and just providing the same sort of support and just same sort of understanding and sharing the education of it's now or never, girls, because yes, when we were 20, like we needed our bodies to be this then, we needed our bodies to be at 30, but from now on, our bodies need us to show up. Like we can't back off now, so we have to be strong.
Yeah, to look after our hormones, to look after
hormones,
our
bones,
bone health, everything all together. You actually need to move.
You've now got to fight against it. This is now literally now or never, and it's a very challenging time. It's a really and mentally to balance how the physical's changing. It's the support is powerful, because there's so much information out there. It's a massively confusing, time in life, if it's not confusing internally already. So that's my, I've got a real passion for that, to create space where I'm encouraging women. Once a week's not enough now, girl. We've got to go more. You got to do, and this is not the end of us.
Yeah.
We don't just sit and get soft from now on, because soft does, because your body is important to you still as a woman, and you're changing as a woman. So don't give into it. Yeah. Don't give into it.
And if you want to continue to move it at all, to do anything, take your dog for a walk, then you actually need to move it all the time to have it be safe for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that as we age, we're more likely to have falls and all of that sort of stuff as well. But I think it's, again, that self-talk of, oh, I'm injured, I can't do it, or oh, I might hurt myself, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And
I'm old,
I can't do it. Oh, it's how you see yourself as well.
Yeah. I'm accident prone, I'm clumsy. It's the stories that we tell ourselves.
I'm tired,
And it's not just for the women either, for me, especially for the guys.
Yeah.
We tend to, we're happy just to go along. But to encourage them, now it's time to step up, because the choices that we're making now are going to affect how we finish. So I see so many that have gone, oh, I just want to enjoy my life and, just have a good life and stuff like that. And what they don't realise with that is the tail end of that is a life of broken bodies, a life of internal illnesses, a life of seeing out your life either in a nursing home or sitting in a room looking out a window, because you can't do anything because your body's so broken, your mind's broken down. But the choices that we make now, it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
That we can live strong and fit right up until the day comes.
And cognitively fit as well. Like we know that that exercise has huge correlation with our
100%.
brain health throughout
Totally.
our
Yep.
entire lives.
Yeah, the
Across the board.
science
Yeah.
behind
Science, yes.
what happens to your body when you move, but you move it well, like that huffy puffy at every age. The science behind that and the strength, like the mitochondria and that sort of stuff. There's just the science that the body is designed to move forever.
Yeah.
And the slowing down process, the aging process, does not have to be as debilitating as it can be if you are moving consistently with it. And it's not necessary. It's not, and
better.
you can live better.
Yeah, a dithery old person doesn't have to be our forecast.
No.
Oh, I like that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm going to wear tutus forever.
Done.
Done. You too. Yeah.
I'm not really a tutu guy.
No,
You do you. You do you.
it's a garbo.
Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me today. I've loved having a bit of a chat with you, and I've loved being able to share some of your story and
Thank
the
you.
importance of the work that you do with our tribe. So thank you so much.
Well,
for
thank
joining
you,
so
and thank
much
you
for
for your
having
heart to educate people too.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. I love people at all ages. So,
Yeah.
I'm really lucky in the work that I get to do, in that I get to play with teeny tiny little babes, and they're often brought by their grandparents, and we get to have those intergenerational interactions and be part of it. But again, from this perspective, I know that the other generations, when they are more physically capable, they get to play better.
Yes.
If the only thing you got from looking after your body better was you got to play with your grandkids, really play with them.
Yeah, with energy, without
Yeah.
because they would sense that if there's dread, like, oh, I've got to move with you.
They know if
They
grandma
know there's
can't get
dread.
off the couch because
Yeah.
she can't get down and play, she can't get up and down and play, she can't
Yeah.
wander around the
One of
balance
my
again.
fondest memories is playing cricket with my dad and my two brothers, or doing a full football field game with four of us, three brothers and my dad,
Beautiful.
because he was able to do it.
Yeah.
So
makes
that's
a
one of my
difference.
fondest memories.
I love
and
it.
That's what kids are looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They want you. Just
100%.
they want you, and they want you involved, and they want to be with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
If you're interested in learning more about Dean and Tanya's amazing work, you can check out their website, fitbodyfitmind.com.au. Thanks so much. Bye.
Thank you.